Let's be honest, the 2022 MLB playoff bracket won't be set in stone until the very last day of the regular season. But we'd be lying if we said we don't have any bold predictions about how the postseason will go. Who knows? Maybe these predictions don't contradict each other and all of them can come true. In this video, we'll talk about how the MLB playoffs might turn out this year. First off, the World Series MVP could go for relief pitcher. Most of the time in the past 25 years, the World Series MVPs have been a batter. Last year, Jorge Soler from Atlanta won, and in 2020, Los Angeles' Corey Seager was named MVP. In the 20 years since Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling shared the award in 2001, it's gone to 16 batters and 4 starting pitchers. But we're going to go out on a limb and say that at least 3 of the World Series champions' 4 wins will be saved by the same closer. No batter will have an excellent fall classic, and will have the first relief pitcher MVP since Mariano Rivera in 1999, and only the 5th in World Series history. There are a lot of great candidates. Edwin Diaz, the closer for the New York Mets, and Emmanuel Clase, the closer for the Cleveland Guardians, have both been outstanding all season. Let's not forget how Kenley Jansen of Atlanta's had a bit of a roller coaster of a month, but he's got a career ERA of 2.13 in 63.1 postseason innings. And if Tony Gonsolin comes back from the disabled list to be a reliever for the Dodgers, he has a 0.78 ERA in the first inning of his 23 starts this season and could be very good in the 9th inning. Up next, Atlanta could be the first champion to reach the World Series since forever. Even if you don't think about how often teams have failed to defend their titles in the past few years, this move isn't that bold. We've heard that Atlanta's got a plus 450 chance of winning the NL pennant if it gets to the number 4 seed. If the Braves sweep the Mets in Atlanta, the NL East title and the number 2 seed are still in play. At that point, the line would probably move to something like plus 275. Well, why not? Since the end of May, Atlanta's gone 71-31. Since adding Raisel Iglesias at the trade deadline, the bullpen has been just as tough to get through, and there's still a good chance that 7 of their players will hit at least 20 home runs by the end of the regular season. If the Dodgers and Mets are going to be knocked out before the World Series, Atlanta is the team to do it. In the last 20 years, it's been almost impossible to get back to the World Series the year after winning. 11 of the last 20 teams to win the title didn't even make it to the playoffs. At least Atlanta will do better than those teams no matter what, followed by all 4 wildcard series might end up as 2-0 sweeps. Just to be clear, we're not saying that the number 3 and number 4 seeds, who get to play all 3 games at home, will win all 4 best-of-3 series, but the Sunday part of the Friday, Saturday, Sunday wildcard round schedule won't be needed. This may be for the best, since even the most enjoyable possible wildcard round pairing would be overshadowed entirely on an NFL Sunday. When there were 8 best-of-3 wildcard series in 2020, 6 were swept 2-0, even in the 2 series that went to a 3rd game. The team that won the first game had the winning run on base in the 9th inning of the second game, but they didn't score. Even so, it's probably not a good idea to make a prediction based on 2020. Before almost making it to the World Series, the Astros went 29 for 31 that season. Also, every team that could play in the wild card round has at least 2 outstanding starting pitchers. So not only do you need to rally to win 2 games in 2 days, but the first of those 2 games will be against a pitcher like Miles McCollum, Robbie Ray, or Zach Wheeler. It just seems like rubber matches are less likely than sweeps. Moving on to, there won't be a single sweep in the last 3 rounds. Since 1995, when the division series was added, there's been at least 1 sweep in either division, championship, or World Series. This has been going on for 23 of the 27 postseasons. Since the Dodgers are setting a franchise record for wins in a regular season, the Astros still have a chance to do the same. And wildcard teams have never been in a worse position going into the ALDS or NLDS. It seems likely that at least 1 team will sweep the other. Los Angeles hasn't done much better this season than a 500 record against Atlanta, New York, Philadelphia, and St. Louis. We think the Yankees will play either the Guardians or the ALDS number 6 seed if there's a sweep. So much has been said about New York's losing record since early July, but they could start on fire against Cleveland. That's, of course, if they don't have Shane Bieber or Tristan McKenzie for the first 2 games. It'll be tough to win all 5 games in these best-of-5 series. Even harder when the format changes to best-of-7. Next, number 5 seed could reach league championship. Since 2016, the number 5 seed in each league's bracket has been eliminated way before the LCS every season, except for 2020. That is when the playoff field was temporarily expanded to 16 teams. And getting to MLB's version of the Final Four, it's even more complicated complicated now that the second-best wildcard team's got to win a best-of-3 series on the road against the best wildcard team. Not only is it harder to get out of the wildcard round, but it also throws off the starting rotation. The odds are primarily against the number 5 seed in the National League that have to win 2 out of 3 games in either New York or Atlanta just to get into the NLDS against the mighty Dodgers. So yeah, it's a bold prediction to say that one of the number 5 seeds will make it through the first 2 rounds. There's still no way to know how the numbers 4 through 6 seeds in the AL will play out. In a best-of-5 series, the number 5 seed, no matter who it is good enough to give Houston a run for its money. Not to mention a complete game shutout pitch. This really could be the riskiest prediction of all. In the NL wildcard game on October 5, 2016, Madison Bumgarner went the whole way. Over 9 innings and 119 pitches, he shut out the New York Mets, giving the Giants a win that could make or break their season. Since then, there have been 231 postseason games, and not one has been a shutout from start to finish. But this October, the drought will end. You might be wondering who gets a shutout in a whole game. Well, we're wondering the same thing. Framber Valdez has pitched 3 complete games and 1 shutout this season, so he'd be a good choice. Aaron Nola of Philadelphia has both 2 and 1. You have to think that Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander have at least a chance of doing it, but if we had to make this prediction riskier by picking the pitcher, who'd make it happen? We'd like Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Tyler Anderson. He uses his pitches well, with an average of 8.5 walks and strikeouts per 9 innings. 7 of his last 13 starts have been for 7 innings. And since we heard that Craig Kimbrel's no longer a Los Angeles closer, the Dodgers might be tempted to let a hot starter keep going. Finally, Aaron Judge will break the record for the all-time single season. Just so you know, it's the same record you've heard of. In 2001, even though Barry Bonds hit 73 home runs, the San Francisco Giants didn't make the playoffs. Even though the Chicago Cubs made the playoffs in one of the 3 years that Sammy Sosa hit more than 60 home runs, he didn't hit a home run in the 1998 NLDS when the San Diego Padres swept them. So the record's 73, and the only change near the top of this list is that Roger Maris's 61 becomes 62 because he hit a home run in Game 3 of the 1961 World Series. And if that 73's already got an asterisk next to it in the record book, most of us think Aaron Judge should change it to including the postseason instead of almost certainly using all the steroids. Still, Judge is a long way away from that record. To get there, he probably needs to hit 65 home runs during the regular season, which is possible, and then 9 more during the playoffs. But that's precisely what makes it a bold guess. And on that note, that's a wrap for this video. Which of these predictions is the most likely in your opinion? What else could we see this year? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.